Good evening and welcome to Pack Homer Pod Season 3, Episode 6. Wolfpack, 2-2 week, lost to Elon in the midweek, and then won their first ACC series of the year over the Boston College Eagles. Boston College was an offensive team. I mean, even though they didn't do a whole lot in games 1 and 3, had an 8 spot in that game 2 that we'll talk about all that, but no matter what, good to win your first ACC series. Won it over a team that went down and won 2 out of 3 last week on the road at Miami. So good start. Before we get into the games, just want to tell everybody thank you that we have this week we crossed over. We actually went up over 1,000 this week. We're over 26,000 all-time listeners. So I don't think that us knuckleheads ever thought that we would have that many people that would waste an hour of their week with us, but we appreciate it. And so, yeah.
Who are these people?
I don't know. But follow us on Instagram at PackHomerPod on X. And anyway, thank you for everybody that's tuned in. And maybe by the time we get to 100 episodes, maybe we'll be over 50,000 all-time listeners. But anyway, I don't want to talk about the Elon game a whole lot. I mean, we get shut out by Elon. I will take some thoughts from you guys, but to me, it's just absolutely inexcusable. I don't think it's anything other than a lack of focus that you go and you get shut out by Elon. I mean, I know the midweek thing, they just got swept by UNCW this weekend. They're not throwing their best guy. We talk about being offensive and having a good lineup. You can't go lose 2-0 to a guy that throws 80% of his pitches below 80 mile an hour, and we just popped up all day. But we're not going to dwell on that game. We lost 2-0, not a whole lot to talk about. But what you think about that, Wesley? Put you on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, so now we've been shut out by Elon and Princeton, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Anything to add, Adam? Or are we going to move on from Elon?
No, I'm ready to move on. I agree. I think we talked about it a little bit, with the Coastal game, that it was nice to feel like we really played that game to win, with some of the substitutions that we made and the pitchers that we use and stuff like that. But it really didn't feel like the Elon game. We just never got it going, and it's unfortunate. We could pretty easily only have one loss. The one loss yesterday, that one was deserved, but a bit. It stinks to get shut out against two inferior teams like those, Princeton and Elon.
Yeah, so 16-4 overall now. 3 of those losses to Lafayette, Princeton, and Elon. Yeah, move on. That's not fun. Anyway, one last thing I do want to say, because it plays into this week. Ryder Garino started the midweek game, and he threw really well. I mean, we lost 2-0, so not on Garino there. We went away from Andrews in the midweek. He started today. We'll talk about that. But anyway, he threw the ball well. We just didn't score many runs. So anyway, let's jump to game 1 of the series versus Boston College. Ryan Marone, everyone was kind of up in the air over whether or not he was going to be back. He had a little bicep strain, they say, from the weight room the week before, and we held him out against, I guess it was Lafayette now. And so to get him back, and then, I mean, it really started, the rumors really started stirring when everyone saw that Andrews wasn't going to start Tuesday. They were like, oh man, maybe that means Marone's out another week. So really big news, just that number 20 towed the rubber on Friday, and he was really good. 7 innings, 3 hits. 6 punch outs, 7 scoreless innings, and we win that game 4-2. Got a home run from Luke Nixon in that game. Down at the bottom of the lineup, Rhett Johnson 2 for 3, some more 2-hit guys. Braden Fraseman 2 for 3, Sherman Johnson 2 for 3, and Luke 2 for 4 in that game. Also, Bargo started. There was some speculation over whether or not we would play him. He was 1 for 3 in that game, but did punch out twice. But anyway, and also started Preston Bond in that game. Drew Lanphier came on late. But really, I think the story of that game was Ryan Marone in the 7 shutout innings and us scoring just enough runs to give him a lead against A.J. Colarusso. And then I guess the other thing to discuss is on the back end of the bullpen, we come in with Anderson Nance and Collins Black, and Nance gives up a couple runs. A great play at the end of that game. I know you guys saw it on the pop-up there at the end. We made it a little dicey. Nance ran into a little trouble. We brought in Collins Black. They hit I thought Boston College ran the bases like crazy people all weekend. But, Adam, you want to talk us through the end of that game there?
Yeah, I was. I can't remember. It hit it to Phraseman. Phraseman fielded it, threw it home. McHugh cut it and got the guy going, trying to go from second to third. The guy and to make the third out. Besides that, I
End of the
really can't
game at third
remember.
base. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and that run that scored the guy from second to the guy from third ended up being the second run. The run counted, so that was the second run. But what would that have been?
It would have cut it to 4-2 with runners on
Nine.
first and
What what
second.
what what was it? A
It was a
9-5-3 double play or something
9-3-5.
like that. Okay, yeah,
9-3-5.
9-3-5. Yeah,
Yep. So
yeah.
anyway,
So yeah, the
4-2
guy was
win.
trying to
All right.
tag from second to third.
Yeah, made a third out at third. A Cardinal do not do. But anyway, 4-2 win. Our ace pitched like an ace. This big win to go to 1-0 in the ACC. Anything you guys want to add on that one? All right, moving right along. All right, game 2. Boston College. Again, obviously 3 games. I say it like you guys don't know. Anyway, we lose that game 12-5. We're up 5-4 in the 8th inning. Going to the top of the 8th, we're up 5-4. Jacob Duden threw 7 innings. Probably didn't have his best stuff, but gave up 4 earned runs. Couple things I'll talk about in this game, and then let you guys chime in. But for the 5-4 ball game, and or at the time, I guess 4-4 ball game, and Lanphier hits
It
a
was
bomb.
it was 3-4, wasn't it? Then he tied up.
Okay, either way, Lanphier hits a bomb in the 7th. We end up scoring 2 in the 7th. Go up 5-4. Just give you a little background on Boston College's 3-run inning, because I want to talk about defense a little bit as we get into this. Had a chance to turn double play in the 4th. Boston College had a 3-run 4th inning. We had a chance to turn double play there. Sherman mishandled one, got 1 out, so it's not an error. Pretty tailor-made one-hop double play ball to the third baseman, and they end up having a 3-run inning, take the lead 4-3. We score 2 in the bottom of the 7th. And then Boston College just absolutely erupts in the 8th. And so after Duden leaves he's got the win, and he's going to be the winning pitcher of record if we hold on. We bring in freshman Luke Hemrick. He throws to one batter, walks him in a full count, gets the quick hook. We go back to Collins Black, who threw the day before, proceeded to walk the next batter. And in my mind, like when you walk the first 2 batters in a 1-run ball game, nothing good is going to happen. Hitting Black around a little bit. He gave up 3 hits, walked another 2 guys. We had a 4 walk in. And anyway, at the end of the frame, they put up 8 runs and taking the lead 12-5. So in that game, we out hit Boston College 11-10. Just absolutely gave it away late in the game. So just want to know you guys' thoughts on the decision. I guess the decision that a lot came back to a lot of people was, should we have went ahead in a 5-4 game after we saw Consiglio today in relief? Would you guys have gone to Consiglio then if you're going to go to a lefty? If you know you're not going to start him Sunday, I think that was something that got tossed around in conversation. What do you think, Wes? Did you watch much of that one?
I did. 38 years old. I got a lot more miles on me than most at 38 years old, and I can't handle the bullpens if it's going to be like this all year. I mean, you can't have. I mean, like you said, dude didn't have his best stuff, but he had, he had the game won, and I think a lot of this has got to come back down to the schedule we played so far this season. You would have liked to have seen a little more competition, so we kind of had some of these things figured out. And the Consiglio situation, lack of left-handers in the bullpen, I don't know. You just gotta hope we. It's just disappointing. We're figuring stuff out here as we get into ACC play.
I no,
Adam.
Uh,
Adam is in nowhere, Georgia right now. He's going to come back to us after a while. Anyway, he's on the way home. He's been up in North Carolina this weekend. He's on the way home, so we're going to keep moving. 12-5, lose game 2. Bullpen a little bit shaky. Not exactly ideal to let that one get away from us. Boston College did bring in Gavin Sowers the last 2 innings, who was one of their better arms, who had kind of been on the mend. Sowers came in and threw 2 shutout innings against us, and we tied. The series gets tied at 1-1. And then today, a lot of people, kind of expected that earlier in the week that we'd see Cooper Consiglio start. Really, no reason not to expect that. Consiglio came into the game, I think, today with like a 1.11 ERA, and but we go to Heath Andrews, who did not throw the midweek, and I think a lot of people probably second guess that. But one thing I will say is both those young men were phenomenal today, and Heath was lights out. I mean, he had 7 scoreless innings, or seven innings, no earned runs. He did give up a run on an error in the third, but 7 innings out of Heath Andrews. Goes 105 pitches, probably gets through a couple more innings. He might have thrown a complete game if we hadn't made 3 errors behind him and forced him to throw a few extra pitches. But Andrews was really, really good. Got just enough offense. I mean, I think we were pretty good spark plug today from Rhett Johnson. We really flipped the lineup around today. Rhett led off, had a couple hits out of Rhett, a couple hits out of McHugh. Hopefully he's back going. Big 2-run double from Mikey Ryan. He batted in the 2-hole today. Win this ball game 5-1. Consiglio came in the last 2 innings, gave up 1 little dink hit, but faced 7 batters, 19 strikes and 25 pitches, 3 punch outs, and put Boston College away. So big series win, even if it was disappointing to drop game 2. What'd you think about the lineup today,
Well,
Wes?
I mean,
Major shakeup.
I really wasn't that surprised about Heath Andrews. I mean, I know for us, we were thinking Consiglio, but I mean, Andrews pitched really well against Coastal Carolina. And if you think about this series, this was as big of a must-win game as you can think of, as the next 2 weekends were in Tallahassee and then in Atlanta against Georgia Tech. So I think it says a lot about the staff that they have complete confidence in Andrews. Whatever us fans who don't know a damn thing want to believe, those guys have complete confidence in Andrews. And if you look at what he's done this year, and 2 games against, I mean, I thought BC was a decent team, and then Coastal, he's pitching really well. So hats off to Andrews there. And in terms of the lineup, I mean, I think we have, and we've talked about this repeatedly on this podcast. There's a lot of talent in the lineup. I say one thing that I probably disagree with is moving McHugh down in the lineup. I know we were all talking about that earlier today. I mean, other than that, I mean, I get it. If you're not producing, there's going to be change-ups, but I think he's probably, without question, the best hitter in that lineup. And we want him to see as many plate appearances as possible during a baseball game.
Yeah, Wesley, I agree. I mean, I was all for. I mean, we just haven't scored enough runs. We didn't score enough runs this weekend. We scored 4, 5, and 5. I mean, it's not enough runs. Not with the talent that we have, and I'm fine shaking it up. I think Rhett Johnson would probably hit leadoff for a lot of teams in the country. I mean, the kid's hitting 429 right now. So I thought that maybe Ty, moving down the lineup and maybe a different type of approach. Maybe it gets him going. He did have a knock today. But the only thing, full agreement with you. I mean, Chris McHugh, I mean, if he goes 0 for 12, I think we kind of got to leave him near the top of the lineup. I like him getting as many at-bats a game as he can because, I believe Chris McHugh is our probably best and most dangerous hitter right now. And especially with Bargo being a little banged up. I still think even with a healthy Bargo, McHugh's our best pure hitter. Bargo obviously brings a lot of pop to the lineup, and he's still a little banged up. But
Yeah,
we shook it up.
I'm not a major fan of. If Bargo's hurt, he's hurt. I mean, he went 1 for 11 this weekend, and maybe he's not hurt, but it looked to me he's favoring that hamstring pretty favorably. There's a lot of talent in the lineup to throw somebody out there, and I think we had a couple of situational type. When Bargo, and of course Bargo ended up hitting a fly ball, getting the runner tag today. But it's not, it was looking a little shaky there for a second. Again, we don't know, the true extent of that injury, but with all the talent in the lineup for someone being 60, 70%, putting them out there. But again, the coaching staff knows more than I do.
Yeah, I'm on the same page with you there, Wes. So Andrews Consiglio, 9 innings, 1 run, no earned, 7 punch outs, win the series. The defense, I do want to talk about a little bit. I mean, we got to clean it up on the left side, especially third base and shortstop. I think, Sherman probably has played up more shortstop in his life than he has third. Mikey Ryan, obviously a red shirt last year. But we made a couple kind of errors today that they come back and beat you in close games, and to make 3, I know Coach Avent's not happy about that, and some of them, maybe all of them today, pretty routine. We had the error on the double play ball by Johnson. Oh, it wasn't even a double play ball. It was a ball that we should have thrown across the diamond with 2 outs. I threw the ball in the right field and gave up that run early. That was Sherman. Mikey spiked one or threw one away over at first base, and then on the bunt, Andrews threw one away early. So 3 errors is just, you make 3 errors and win. That's pretty fortunate. So would like to see us clean that up a little bit. But 2-1 series win, a lot to take away. I think a huge takeaway from this series, and we've mentioned it several times, is Rhett Johnson's up to 429 now. I don't know that he really, really stepped on one all weekend. He's just one of those guys that every ground ball he hits, he has a chance. Since his 2 for 14 start, he is now hitting 523 since that 2 for 14 start. And I think he had 7 or 8 hits this weekend, walked a few times, puts a lot of pressure on guys. How did you like moving him to the leadoff? You think that's
I got him 7.
We'll see him there in the midweek next week.
I got him. I got him. I got him 7 for 9. I don't know if that's correct, but that's what I got him down for. And I don't think. I mean, because Rhett was lead off in the fall ball, right?
Yeah, he led off both scrimmages. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we had the injury going into Puerto Rico, and then that changed the lineup up a little bit. I think we're back to. I mean, other than today when that was just a statement from Avent saying, "Hey, you guys better produce." I think that it's pretty natural for Rhett to be the leadoff guy, and I don't know anybody that's watched any of our games at this point could argue for that.
No, I agree. So I think that'll be something to pay attention to going forward. Also, you talk about shaking up the lineup. Lanphier was really, really struggling. And sometimes guys, giving a guy just a couple of days off and running somebody else out there and letting them play lets these guys, they're young dudes going to class, got a lot going on, let them clear their head, because Lanphier had 2 hits yesterday and then had another knock and an RBI today, went 1 for 2, and I think got hit by pitching his other at bat. So, when you got this much talent and guys aren't producing, you got to shake it up a little bit. So hats off to Avent for doing that. I guess the comment, talking about our pitching staff, I guess the comment Avent made about Consiglio is needing another left-handed arm in the pen. I mean, that plays, you really, really hate that for Cooper Consiglio, because he has done absolutely nothing to deserve a demotion in the rotation. So if that is the case going forward, that's tough luck for him. But I mean, he's got a .95 ERA and opponents hitting 129 against him. If that's what loses you your job, that's pretty tough, but also pretty exciting. If we can get to a regional to have all 4 of those arms, Andrews and Consiglio to go along with Marone and Duden. So that'll be interesting to pay attention to. Anderson Nance has struggled a little bit. I think that's a story in our bullpen. Hasn't looked like the Anderson Nance of 2025, but if you remember, Jacob Duden didn't look like the Jacob Duden of 2024 and early 2025. Hopefully he gets going. The bullpen is a question mark right now. Wesley, what'd you say? It was aging you?
No, I just said we can't make this a consistent weekend experience for what happened this weekend. But the reality is that if we field the ball against Georgia Tech and Florida State like we did today, then we're not going to have to worry about the bullpen.
Yeah, it's not going to matter. You can't give those guys that many extra outs.
And then we saw it. I mean, we saw it last year, and at this point with Johnson, of course, I mean Johnson, hit the ball. Herman Johnson hit the ball really well, but again, look at some of the arms that we were facing. And Pfeiffer hit the ball well too. It's like for me at this point, if Johnson can't make some routine plays, there at least should be every other day, both these guys going out there. I can't see in any way how Sherman Johnson has completely won the third base position based on the body of work, at least in the spring here. Because some of those plays, you just from a Division I player, you have to make those plays. And the same way at shortstop. I'm not sure that it's a kind of a different situation at shortstop because I'm not sure we have another person to throw out there. But Pfeiffer's a really good player. He looks the part, and so I think that probably I would speculate that we're going to start seeing a little more of that, maybe even Tuesday night. But maybe we'll see Pfeiffer get a start there.
Yeah, shortstop. I'm definitely not like calling position battle. I don't think we're there or anywhere near that. We kind of speculated early in the year that Mikey was going to have a really long rope, and he does. He's hit good pitching, and he's had some big knocks. Had a hell of an at bat on Saturday. I mean, just a great at bat there late in the game when we actually put ourselves in position to win that one. But you can't field 9-15 in the ACC at shortstop. You just can't. I mean, and we're not sitting here talking about it on a podcast so someone can listen to it and get in their head any more than they are. But 9-15 ain't gonna cut it. It's just not. And so we got to clean it up on the left side of the infield. Both those guys bring a lot to the table, both Sherman and Mikey. But defensively, got to get a little better. So that'll be something I think to pay attention to. I mean, I guess if there is anybody you could say that might would push Mikey, I think maybe that might would be Christian Serrano, who only has played in 8 games and has
Yeah, but I
5
mean, Mikey has some timely hitting this weekend, though. I mean, from offensively, even the double today that broke the game loose a little bit. I mean, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
that's what I'm saying.
I'm not sure there's that much difference between Pfeiffer and Johnson on third base. I mean, yeah. I mean, if Mikey Ryan's going to be that, from a situational standpoint, of course he has to feel better. But at third base, I just think that should still be up in the air. And what Pfeiffer gives you defensively, if you're going to throw 3 starters out there every weekend that are going to pitch like our 3 starters did this weekend, give me some guys who are going to field the ball and get outs.
Yes. Yeah. No, I agree. So anyway, hope we clean it up on the left side of the infield. And yeah, Pfeiffer and Johnson got to figure out who the guy to run out there every day is, or like you said, maybe we play musical chairs. But I'm sure we're not saying anything that hasn't been said in the clubhouse. You back with us, Adam?
I guess. I don't know. I'm just enjoying listening to you guys.
Just riding down 95. Adam's he's our first listener this week. We appreciate that.
I'm on 95 southbound.
We go to Tallahassee next weekend. Before we get going, talking about that series with Florida State, which is obviously a big series, I just want to kind of give you the lay of the land after this weekend. The second weekend in ACC play, the first weekend for us. Duke won the Miami series, their series with Miami in Durham. Miami is now 2-4 in ACC play, and kind of behind the 8 ball for a team that was ranked a lot early in the season. Duke beat Miami 20-10 today. NC State, we already mentioned, 2-1 series winners over Boston College. That puts us to 2-1. Boston College falls to 3-3. Virginia lost today to Virginia Tech, but won that series. Virginia Tech's now 2-4 in the ACC. Virginia is 4-2. Louisville was a 2-1 series winner over Notre Dame. Puts Louisville at 2-1 in the ACC and Notre Dame at 3-3. Florida State swept Wake Forest. That was a huge series sweep. You talk about arms galore. Both those teams have it. And Florida State now 3-0 to start ACC play. Wake Forest falls to 3-3. UNC has all but put away California. In Winston-Salem, that Florida State-Wake series. UNC's on their way to sweeping Cal. Cal will start the season 0-3 in ACC play. UNC should improve to 4-2. And then late in the game today, Pitt was up over Stanford. If that were to hold, Pitt would move to 2-1.
Pitt won. It's over.
It's over. So
it's over.
Pitt's 2-1 in the ACC. Stanford falls to 1-5.
Hey, Louisville had 21 hits.
21 hits. Today, they had 21 today.
21 hits and 21 hits and 21 hits today.
Gosh. And then I didn't mention the Clemson Georgia Tech series. Georgia Tech, that was Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Georgia Tech won the first two games of that series. I think Burris hit 2 home runs in game one, hit one that still working on landing somewhere. I think Lackey hit a home run. I mean, that lineup's just loaded. But Clemson came back and got them yesterday 13-7. So Georgia Tech won that series 2-1. They're 4-2 in ACC play now, and Clemson starts off the season at 1-2. So at the top of the standings, you got 4-2 UNC, or you got Florida State's at the top at 3-0. Then you got 4-2 Georgia Tech, 4-2 UNC, 4-2 Virginia, and then NC State tied, from a winning percentage standpoint at 2-1 as well. So right behind Florida State, a big logjam for second. So the series next week in Tallahassee is huge, and Florida State is obviously very, very talented. They absolutely lit Morningstar up for Wake Forest on Friday night, beating 10-0. Morningstar, I think, maybe had some freshmen or not freshmen, but some preseason All-American accolades. And Florida State hung 10 on him. Mendez, who is their ace lefty, was lights out. And going in game two, they run Trey Beard, who's the number one pitcher in the transfer portal in all season. Another lefty, 6'2 lefty. He had 14 strikeouts and beat Lavanis, who is a 100-mile-an-hour righty for Wake, and won that game 2-0. So the first 16 innings of that series, Wake Forest doesn't score a run. And then the final today in game three, when they have a Florida State has a right-hander, Moore, who's their number 3. The final in today's game, what did that end up at? 12-6 Florida State. So a lot more offense from Florida State. But Wake Forest averaged 2 runs a game in the series, and that is a crackerjack ballpark over in Winston-Salem. So Florida State's arms absolutely getting it done. They struck out 25 in the first 2 of that series. Anyway, Mendez, Beard, and Moore for Florida State are absolutely phenomenal. And we're going to Tallahassee. If you compare their lineup to ours, they've only hit 24 home runs, and we've hit 38 now. We're hitting 338. They're hitting 298, but their pitching is very similar to ours.
Hell, they probably played a real schedule too in the first 20 games.
I was thinking about that today. Did any Power 4 team play a worse schedule than us?
No. They opened up with James Madison. Then played Jacksonville, Michigan, Auburn, Nebraska, North Florida. Then a series with Citadel, Jacksonville, Northern Kentucky, Florida, and then Wake Forest. I mean, yeah, a lot more challenging than what we have.
An opponent still hitting 190 against that pitching staff. So they got some dudes. Mendez has 41 strikeouts in 28 innings now. Beard, the lefty that's gonna throw game 2, is 28 strikeouts in 19 innings. I don't know Moore's final line after what he did today. Florida State is a really good ball team. They're going to jump a lot in the rankings this week. I think they came into this week number 20, but they got some guys. Offensively, they're led by Miles Bailey, big feast or famine first baseman. He's got 23 punch outs now, but he's also hit 7 home runs, and he's hitting 339. When I went down to Coral Gables last year, I saw Bailey hit one about 500 feet. So he's a pretty special piece to have in your lineup for the Seminoles. So, what do you guys? How do you see it going next week, boys? We better go while we got Wi-Fi. Start with you, Adam.
I think Marone and Duden are going to go down there and shut all those boys you just hyped up about, shut them down. So, and Marone and Duden, I trust. So, I don't know. I really feel like I like the changes. I know y'all probably talked about this earlier when I was trying to reconnect, but I do like the changes we made in the lineup. I do appreciate the fact that Coach Avent didn't stay locked in and made those changes today. And I think Rhett Johnson's just I mean, my God, what a guy to have at the top of your order. He just, I said it yesterday, he's just an absolute menace on the base pass. I don't know, man. I still like us to find a way to win 2 out of 3. I really think Boston College is a pretty damn good ball club.
God damn, we said the same thing about Princeton when they shut us out.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just didn't get the feel that I don't know. I don't know. I'm a damn homer, man. Who cares? So I say we won
I
two out
mean,
of three.
and then we got shut out by Elon the 3 days before.
Yeah, and I did catch a little bit about y'all talking about Bargo. I agree the same way. I feel like, I mean, as much as I want Bargo in the lineup, I just don't want him in there if he can't run. Didn't it wasn't it the Elon game he grounded into 3 double plays?
I think
Yeah,
that's right.
you
Yeah.
can't do that at this level. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so
I mean, if you're going to be doing that, you better. Well, I mean, he's been hurt. I mean, he's been out of games, but yeah, no, whatever.
Yeah, I think that the lefty on lefty matchups that we're going to have to see are going to be hard. But I tell you what, actually, me and my wife are going down to Tallahassee next weekend just because the kids are out of school, and me and her are going to give us a good chance to go watch the Pack play. But it was her idea, so I'm pretty lucky. But um, the how many scouts are going to be in Tallahassee next weekend? Oh my gosh, Mendez, Marone, Duden, and Beard. I mean, that place is gonna be loaded to the gills with scouts behind home plate because you got some just big time arms rolling into Tallahassee next weekend. So should be an exciting series. I guess my take is I think I think you're going to see a return. There's got to be a return to the mean. Obviously, we're not a baseball team that's going to hit 380. But I was telling somebody today, I think it was my buddy Perkins, who's a loyal listener. He might be some of those 26,000 tune-ins or spins. But he was like, you guys aren't going to hit 380. I'm like, no, we're not going to hit 380. But we're hitting 338 right now. If you hit 300 as a team, I think this is a team that can hit 300 and can hit 100 home runs. And if you hit 300 and hit 100 home runs, you're a pretty dang good offensive team. And we didn't look like it this weekend. So I kind of feel like we might be kind of due. We hit a lot of balls on the nose this weekend that didn't go for hits, but we also popped up a lot. So hopefully we're dialed in with the approach, and I like us to win the series 2-1 as well. Did West take a break on us? He had enough?
I'm
he
right
might have
here.
had to go get another Dos Equis.
It's sad. It's sad. It's sad that what I do for a living is supply chain, and I came up here with too few beers. Yeah, no, I mean,
Didn't
I
get to
think for
hear.
us,
Go ahead, Wes.
I think for us, uh, we're playing Florida State in Tallahassee. Again, I know I don't think I've been too hard on our schedule. It is what it is. It's BS. But our guys are going to be fired up. They're going in there. I mean, they're going to hit against some of the best pitching, playing one of the marquee baseball facilities in the country. I'm excited to see what happens. I don't know that we're going to win the series. Did Adam make a prediction here?
Adam's got us winning this thing 2-1. He said his boys Marone and Duden are
But
going
I
to go
do.
do
But
well.
yeah, okay. Well, yeah, hell yeah. Well, okay, here we go. Yeah, I'll say 2-1 too because I mean our guys. I do think there was a little bit of lack of focus this weekend when it came to the series with BC. BC was what they were picked to finish 15th in the conference. Is that correct?
I think that is right, Wesley. Definitely at the
Something like
bottom.
that. So
Yeah.
BC was picked to finish. BC was picked to finish second to last in the conference. We've got two series coming up here in the next 2 weekends with Florida State and Georgia Tech, who are going to be, we're going to be competing with them to host supers or host regionals. So I think there will be a difference of focus coming from our guys. And then one stat that I thought was amazing, and I know this happens a lot with the Northeast schools, but Boston College has played 19 road games in a row.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, 19 road games in a row coming into Raleigh this weekend. I think maybe next weekend they play Cal in Chestnut Hill. But anyway, I thought that was crazy to think about for what these college kids, because I mean we were talking about this before, and we don't talk about basketball about whatever our hand we've been dealt going to date, and who cares. that basketball team, they're more than well compensated, but the BC baseball team, having 19 road games in a row, hell, their basketball team doesn't even have NIL. I'm not sure their football team does. Sure as hell their baseball team doesn't. So that's pretty incredible for a power four school to play 19 away games in a row to start the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And we didn't talk about the midweek inning. You gonna make it to the UNCW game, Wesley? I was thinking about going down, but I think the first pitch is gonna be like 44 degrees, so I think I'm gonna sit it out.
Hugh,
You gonna make it good?
you damn right I'll be there. 44 degrees? Are you serious? God dang.
44
Yeah, no,
degrees.
I'm gonna go to that game. The Wolfpack Club's actually doing a little tailgate. I know that's a lot of effort on their part. So I should at least go out there and support the tailgate, support the guys. UNCW swept Elon this weekend. I think we already mentioned that. They swept Elon this weekend, so I think it'll be a really good test. And it'd be interesting to see who throws midweek, especially with how well Garino threw this weekend, and going into Tallahassee in that environment. And uh, we never talked about the motions that Consiglio made towards the dugout after this game ended either. I guess we're just gonna leave the spicy stuff out. But anyway, it should be a good game, and it's always fun when UNCW, NC State, ECU, and these Eastern North Carolina schools get together.
Yeah, I love the firing Consiglio. He basically looked at the dugout and said, "Boys, I'm a dog, and I want the rock." And yes, he was obviously pretty pumped up coming off the mound today after he went out and shoved 2 scoreless. No doubt about it. We didn't get to that, Wesley. You're right, but man, if you're still here, we hope that we do a pretty good job editing this thing tonight, because it's going to be a lot of
But
work.
is that a problem? Do you think you're a former coach? You're a former coach, Cal. Is that a problem? You think that's a positive thing for the competition for that spot, or you think that's a negative thing in the dugout?
Yeah, and I don't know if this is competition as much, Wesley, as it is of needing that left-handed arm in the bullpen. But I also would feel like if I'm in Coopler Consiglio's spot, that I feel like I've earned my role in the rotation. So I think it's good. He's a dog. He wants to win. He brings a lot to our team. I think that probably not always comfortable in the locker room, but if you don't get to where you want to go with a bunch of choir boys, you got to have some dogs. And I think Coop's a dog. I think we got several dogs in our bullpen. So I'd be pissed too. I'd be kind of disappointed if he wasn't pissed about not starting today. So I'll leave it at that. All right, guys, we have had a rough go here of the recording. We'll dress it up as best we can.
I'm gonna be across the pond the next 2 weeks. Y'all probably gonna have to do it without me.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I'm in California next Sunday.
Am I gonna do a monologue next week, boys? I guess I'll have to find some guests.
Yeah,
we might be a little late.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it from the 14th hole. I played golf. I played golf 5 times in 2025, and yeah, there's no. I hate to even think of how that's gonna go. But whatever, I'll be there.
You'll be there. We'll hit them good and go Pack.